Welcome back, everybody, to another video. I know I said last time I'm gonna make a Minecraft video because I haven't done that in a while. But I ran out of time. I had a lot of things on my back, lots of things to take care of, important business, and with such little time, I only played chess, worked all my ass off at school and anywhere else, and the only thing I could possibly record was some chess content, and specifically some games that I will show you today for your entertainment, or for you to relax, or probably just be jealous of my ELO that is on the range of 1385, which is intermediate level and better than 94.6% of all the players on chess.com. Um, Before we jump onto the games, I have to make an announcement. This weekend, expect two videos or one video, depending on how it's gonna go. I will be participating on a Discord server tournament where I got invited to a tournament on a Discord server, and they told me that if you win, you're gonna get a role. And I got in. It's a 10-5, and I will upload two games per those 2 days. Saturday 2 games, Sunday 2 games, and a finale. I will upload the games. I will commentate over them, and we'll look at them together. But for now, we're standby. The thing is still getting organized. At the weekend, I'm gonna have this little tournament, and I will upload videos to entertain all of you, and also just flex that I got in a tournament on Discord. uh, that's all. And if I say anywhere that there's Minecraft content coming like sometime in like 5 days or something, like at the end of the video, that's kind of a mistake. I didn't really mean that. I actually record this part after I record the games. So yeah, there might be a little confusion. I now remembered about it, but now I said fuck it. I'm just gonna include this little part and say that you're amazing. Without further ado, let's jump to the games. All right, we shall begin with the first game. Here we go. We have a classic Benoni transposition. I'm gonna be honest. I have no clue what Benoni defense is. I have no clue what it is. Don't know what the ideas are, but we'll get transposition to that. Probably my opponent did not know, but whatever. Apparently, Engine gives props to this, shattering the position, but my opponent, of course, will not see that, and then that will transpose to a Taras, which is an aggressive version of the French, I think. But we have a6 instead. Now, I'm going to be honest, I have no clue what a6 does. I have zero evidence. Now, a4 does have a point. I know it looks weird. The point is it's a better move of a6 because it takes up a little bit more space and stopping the obvious b5. So yes, there was in fact a point behind a6, was to play b5 and undermine the center in a unique fashion. So we get the move c takes d4 and get the 2 pawns to center, and the classic Nimzowitz pin. This especially seen in the Nimzo Indian. That pin, cross pins, like I can in this position can play. Actually, I played this move: bishop b4, bishop g5, a cross pin. But he castles. No, I can. I could take theoretically, but it's not that good. Just giving up a bishop for nothing. Knight f3, h6. I keep the pin. The reason why I want to keep the pin is to induce him to do this and overcommit some danger to his to his king. Although according to the engine, it's not even that bad of a move. It's only from minus 0.2 to minus 7.1, which is like top engine. I think. I don't know. Actually, here. Oh, now it says +2. Plus 0.2. Yeah, it is. I don't know why the engine is so ooga today. Population booga. But no, instead we have rook e8, which is a reasonable move. He's trying to prepare e5 in the future. And queen b3, attacking the bishop, forcing it to make a decision. It makes a decision, and we have a queen majority. And that's going to be an advantage in endgames. d5, striking the center. c5 is apparently a mistake, mainly because of g5. Now? What's the difference now? The point is you play this and you get rid of the bishop pair. Is that the idea? No, it is to develop the knight. Wow, and then castle queenside is insane. No, he plays bishop d7 instead. Yeah, that's the move that my opponent chooses. Just develops a bishop, nothing too crazy and complicated. Bishop d3. Bishop c6. So my opponent obviously has a plan of dancing around with his pointy hat. Knight e5. Knight bd7 and knight takes e6 is a mistake apparently, but in my book it is a totally fine move. I get rid of a bishop. However, maybe the reason why the bishop was bad is because it's locked down behind all the pawns and it's not really that good. I should have taken the knight instead, but he would just recapture with the knight, it didn't really matter. But we get the split pawns, and maybe in the future I might be able to exploit that. Maybe. So I castle now, and queen c7. Bishop g3, queen d8. For some reason, he just makes a queen move and then goes back. It's like black has the same position, but I've repositioned my bishop to a better diagonal, which I will use. f3. This is to prevent any knight jump to g4 or e4, just in case any of these two knight jumps happen. Queen e7, and already my opponent is completely lost. Well, why? Because of the move bishop d6. What does this move do? First of all, the bishop has a permanent outpost, and it cannot get kicked out in any way, shape, or form. And then I can hit a b4 and a quick b5 to shatter open everything and get some open lines. And then, after my opponent plays this move, try to counterattack my king because he obviously realized he is completely losing. I hit him with a bishop e5. Now, I know what the computer says he's probably going to take, but he doesn't take. Taking here is, well, hangs a rook, first of all. And apparently you shouldn't even save this knight. You should just go here because like he just keeps this and has an advantage. I don't know what the engine is on about. But now he retreats his rook instead. It was perfectly reasonable. He doesn't want his rook taken. Bishop d6, back again. Rook e8. No, we do not do a repetition of moves. That is not allowed right now. We are on an attack and we're not making a draw. Knight b8. Bishop takes e8. Queen takes e8. And my friends, he went from 3.8 to 4.7. That means a devastating attack is coming. That attack is coming with c6. Taking away the natural development square of the knight and blocking it and probably going to attack it and promote. Queen c8. Bishop takes b8, making space. Rook takes b8. Queen takes a5, free pawn. Knight reroute. Rook b1. Rook takes b1, rook takes b1. And even though I give up this pawn, I can do this. Now I basically force a queen trade. But my opponent, instead of taking the queen or going back to c8, he just retreats to c3. Obviously entangled by the check you can give on d4 and hanging a knight of his own. I allow the check, but after he checks me, he forgets that he has to save his queen. I force a queen trade, and then we slowly win the endgame, make a queen, and then it's just over. So what happened here? What happened here is, after bishop d6, that was where the game was over. I slowly, pressured my opponent. At some point, he was going to hang a rook. There we go. I forgot to tell you that. I completely ignored the fact that was a rook. Sorry. Slowly tried to run his clock time out, pressure him, asking constant questions, and eventually I managed to sneak the victory away from his hands. Let's go to the next game. For the next game, be prepared to laugh a little bit. D4, D5, C4, D takes C4, a queen's gambit accepted on a rapid game. That is insane. If you accept a queen's gambit, you gotta strike back immediately on the center to try and get rid of it, because white has an enormous center. You gotta counterattack. You gotta strike in the center, or else you will be you'll be destroyed by the immense development that white will have in a moment. Of course, he doesn't do that. He plays the queen's gambit decline, but accepted variation. Bishop takes e4. That's like a regular line. f6. Now white is completely lost. Why? Black is completely lost. Because he's just not developing. I'm getting faster development. h6. Amazing stuff. Knight c3. Now, the reason I didn't castle on the king side just now is because maybe I had the idea he's going to go for a king side attack, and then it would be a chaotic game. But now he plays a6. Probably going to go b5, but I'm not really worried about that. I'll just retreat. a3. This has a purpose. This stops any bishop b4 shenanigans. Again, Nimzo Indian style. I've always seen that bishop in on the knight, and then they try to take the knight for some unknown reason, but give me 3 pawns in the center, which is considered an advantage. Bishop b7, the baby version of either uh, bishop d6 or any other. I mean, there's another bishop move, let's be honest, but there's bishop d6, but then there's like e5, bishop e3. I don't have any other better square to put the bishop, or else it get attacked. f5, trying to undermine the center. Now, let me ask a question. Why not play f5 here? I mean, it's even worse, but at least you know, you're already committed there. Why are you playing f5 now? Now I can get, first of all, there was this move, which is diabolical. The point is that there is mate, like there's this forced mate. You can't stop it. You need to go here. And apparently if you take, then there's this, and you're probably gonna get mated pretty easily. Like if you do nothing here, there's mate in 1. I know. Shocking. Oh, I exited review by accident. Okay, now where were we? I think on f5. Yeah, so f5 is not a good move. Should have gone with a knight here, but instead I choose to lock down the center, which is not the top engine move, not the second line of the engine, but the move nonetheless. It is a logical move. But I also stopped the development of the knight and derailing the castling plans of black. Knight c6. And castles. Now I can castle. Now he's probably going to go queenside. I'm ready to attack because the center is sort of locked. Kind of. And pieces can easily transport themselves through a locked center. Bishop g5. Okay, that is a weird move. Apparently now the engine here wants me to reroute my knight and completely disregard the attack on my bishop. But no, I take with the knight. It's a mistake, but in my eyes it's not. Because what is going to attack me? A8 takes c5. I guess the point was he's gonna go on a kingside attack now. I mean, f4, I play it. Now, one of the reasons I played f4 is to try to get the rook lift. Maybe. g4 locks down everything. Fantastic. g3 is a mistake. Because of this. I mean, I don't ask me, okay? I don't know why not develop this knight, okay? Just don't ask me at all. Knight g2 e7. d5 striking, and that move which hangs confidently a knight, which I promptly take. Queen takes d1, Duke takes d1, knight takes c6, and rook d2, trying to double up and bully the living shit out of the king. She sees that, rook fd1, rook d8, doesn't even castle, he's stranded in the center. My kingside is extremely safe, there's nothing wrong. b4. Bishop c8, rook takes d8, and we keep the rook on probably the only open file in the game. Knight c6, rook h1, b5, bishop d3. Just getting a little pushed back, but it's fine. There's nothing terrible. Bishop e7, king g1. Basically, what this allows is this. And this looks god-awful for white, but it's still completely winning. Why? I have 2 bishops and the knight has a knight and a rook. 2 pieces are better than the rook. That's the only reason I did it. It's not going forward. Oh, because it's a hypothetical move. Yeah, a takes before. He played knight takes before instead. He thought instead of going backwards, he could have just gotten here and completely got a rook for a bishop. But because you went here, you're gonna be trading 2 pieces for a rook and a pawn, which is bad. And that's the reason why this position is plus 4.5. Whereas if you didn't sacrifice the knight for a pawn and just took it with the rook by moving the knight to the other square, you would have just gotten it for 3 points. No, you got it for 6. King d7, bishop c5, blocking the king from ever coming close. King c6, bishop f1, rook h8, and bishop g2 check. King d7, knight e2, rook d8, knight d4, king e8, and I want you to keep an eye on the e5 pawn. Just keep an eye on it. Don't take away your vision out of it. Just keep an eye on it. Bishop c6 check, king f7, king g2, g6, h3, undermining the pawn chain. And we take, he goes on the open file, but still he does have the only open file, but it's completely useless because my king is there and it's completely sending him away. King g7, knight takes c6, he hangs a fork of 2 pawns, but first we give this check for good measure. Well, actually, it wasn't really a fork because there's this, but you're still fine because you got a passer. But I didn't like it. I just straight up did not like it, so I went for this instead, which is one of the moves up there. And there was mate in one, but look for better. King h6, knight e6 check, no repetitions, knight c5 check. He goes here, bishop c5, king g7, e6, rook d8, e7. And remember when I told you to keep an eye on this pawn? Yeah, it turned to a knight. Instead of turning it to a queen, which would have forced this, or, turning it to a rook, which would also force this, or to a bishop, which probably wouldn't force it, but it's still a good piece nonetheless. Yeah, make a knight. Why? He hangs mate in 3. Watch. Bishop d5 check, king h8. Knight f7 check, king h7. Knight c5 check, king h8. Bishop d4 check, rook e5, and bishop takes e5 checkmate. The horses and the pointy hats have smothered the king in the corner, and he is gonna cry for the rest of his life trying to escape the board. That pawn on e2 from the start of the game proceeded to push on the center, clawed itself on e5, and stay there for a long while until the pawn on e6 was removed via, well, some means of called forking. In a bit, hold up, it should be, yep, there it is, forking. And after it became a passer, it pushed. It was unstoppable, and it pushed and pushed and then pushed and became a horse, and Eric Hansen is proud of us all. Let's go to the next game. Alright, welcome to the next game. There's a brilliant move. This time it's not made by me. Let's continue with the third game. e4, e6, we have a French defense, which looks like something like this. I defend the pawn and go c4, c5, defend here. Now, a lot of people like to pin it like this. I mean, it's not really correct. You're supposed to keep the bishop out, but no, he likes to pin horses for some reason. Bishop d7, probably his idea is to, go 95 in the future, but it's not really possible at the moment. Bishop d7, unpinning, and bishop e7, knight c3, queen a5, just forcing the bishop to make a decision. He makes a decision. Knight a5, queen c7. I let him take it because, I mean, yes, I do have the bishop here, but the French bishop is bad right now. He's not good at the moment. That's why I tell him, you can take it if you want. He doesn't. Instead, I force him to take it. And after that, bishop g5 and c takes d4, danger levels. This gave away not too much advantage, I'm going to be honest. Bishop takes f6 and d takes c3, top engine move. Bishop takes c3 and the free pawn we regain. Queen h5, threatening mate, of course. f6, top engine move. Queen z4, queen c8, trying to get rid of his queen because he's obviously going for an attack. Rook e6, and then I spent so long on thinking this move, king f7, and it blunders a draw. Why? I have no clue. Apparently, this is a draw. This is just a dead draw. And you have to just do perfect play. You can sack the bishop, and do this, but, I mean, insane. Of course, rook a2 e1 and queen a6 check, blundering the game back to white, king g1, and rook a to d8. There is forced mate in 7 by sacrificing the bishop, but he sees this instead. Then he sacrificed the bishop for a draw. This is a draw. Basically, if I take with the pawn, it is mate in 5. If I take with the rook, which happened in the game, he's going to take my rook, go here, here. Apparently, no, he should have gone here. What's the top engine move here? Rook e8, here, and here. And I can... Why does the engine say it's a draw? Hello? So you're telling me pull all of this amazing stunt? Top engine move after top engine move? And when you're told to go down here, it is bad? Maybe it's just repetitive checks. Yeah, it is just repetition. You go here and then the guys is smothered. I am smothered. Then you bring the rook and you have to go here and he's gonna do a repetition. Oh, what? He's gonna do a repetition, right? Yeah, repetition, and the game will end in a draw. Just kidding. Of course, there will be a mistake happening, and he goes rook e6 instead. Here, I give away a bit of my advantage by just hanging the bishop. Now, I actually thought about this move for a long time. My thought was we're going on a queen endgame, and I will have an extra pawn. Kind of. Look at the pawns. I have 5 pawns, he has 4 pawns, and I will be winning another one. He takes the rook, of course, we're going to queen endgame. There we go. Here's the pawn I want. Not this pawn, because he takes here. But there's also this check. No, we take this pawn to protect our pawn. It's a protect the past pawn. We're gonna protect it. B4 is a mistake, of course. Queen c3 is a miss, but still a good move nonetheless. F3, which forces a queen trade and puts me in a completely winning endgame. Simply what I will do is take this opposition, push the pawns, trade a couple pawns, king e3, then force a zugzwang. Even if you go here, which looks so nice, you have this. And if you go here, I'm just gonna push. You wanna win the pawns. You're just not fast enough. And I'm winning the endgame by a lot. And yeah. After g3, there's a zugzwang, h5, king f2, king g4, and my opponent resigned after 2 minutes of thought. Yeah. My opponent played a brilliant move, but didn't know why it was brilliant. Is it a brilliant move if you don't know why it's brilliant? If you don't know if there's a draw possible, is it really brilliant? I don't know. That is it for this game. Let's go to the next and final one. And for the final game of today, buckle up. We have another Queen's Gambit accepted. Of course. I mean, almost everybody accepts the Queen's Gambit. Here's what people do. Either they play this and then we go on a Catalan. Oh, that's the Marshall defense. That is the way to play the Catalan. Yes, this is the way to play the Catalan. Either we go for a Catalan, or we go for like a Slav defense, but you don't commonly see this intermediate. I've never seen the Slav on 1300 or 1200, or even not that much on 1100 either. I've only seen it in like 1000, and sometimes in 1100, but after 1200, there's nothing. Not a single Slav defense game so far. But we have another majority that just takes the gambit and gets instantly clapped because they don't know what to do past move 3. Because I will just do this. And here what I like to do, instead of developing the knight like this, which is normal, I play f4. I know this gives a lot of advantage. This gives like 20 points of advantage away. The reason I do this, and then develop the knight after f4 here, is I have 3 pawns and I can wedge them forward to my opponent. In a bit I'll be able to push. Look at this, e5, pushed it. 98. And also the other reason that I like to play f4 on Queen's Gambit, if I have the ability, is if they play f6, I don't even have to react. Castles. F takes e5, F takes e5, and I still have the 2 pawns in the center. And the center is like locked and I can use it for attacks. Brilliancy. a6. Obviously preparing b5. I stopped that. Knight a5. Bishop d3. Moving on this comfy diagonal. g6. Didn't really have to do it. Apparently, if you didn't do it, there's like sacrifices. No, there's this. But apart from that, it's just mate. But no, there's no sacrifice line. Is there though? There is. It's like a Greek gift, sort of. You go here. And you take this, and then you probably bring the other rook. Oh, probably that's a mistake. You gotta take here. And then if he goes here, then I have to hide the king in the corner. And if he goes here, then I have to go here. Okay, that's a lot of moves. Anyway, bishop d3, bishop d2, c5. Trying to attack the center, bishop e3. And we have this position. And I, instead of taking the queen like a normal person, I take the bishop, because why not? Knight c6, and knight takes c6 is a good move because first of all, if you take the queen, oh, that's not a queen. There's this, and then I take the queen, and I'm up a whole piece, and I have the bishop and in open position. That means over, game's over. Apart from that, he takes like this, basically, not hanging a piece. I mean, probably trading is good, but I'm not really sure about it. I want to go for an attack, and queen b3 sets me for success, but does less than nothing. Bishop d7, bishop c4. Now I'm attacking. Knight z7, rook d1. There's pins everywhere. Queen c8, bishop h6, trying to get rid of this knight so I can be able to capture the pawn. But you'll see when I'll be able to capture the pawn. Rook b8, the only move. Queen a2. And knight a5 is a blunder because of rook takes d7. Why? First of all, if you take, I win your queen. So you can't take it. If you give this check, apparently it's like even worse. Because it just moved to the corner. Now, don't tell me why this is the better move. Do not ask me to explain this. I had the king in the corner. Rook b7. Bishop takes c6. Check. King h8. Rook takes h7 check. Discover attack on the queen. We win the queen. And apparently that's not even the best move. The best move, according to the engine here, was to take the rook, go here, then take the knight. And if they capture, it's probably mate. You just infiltrate, and they have to apparently sacrifice their queen, because if they do not, it's mate in one. So they have to sacrifice the queen to survive, but I will not see that sequence. It's a little too long. And plus, just winning the queen like this, it's more appetizing. Yeah. And the rest of the game is simple. Converting. Just converting. Pinning everything. Converting everything. Missing mate a couple times, but it's fine. But in the end, I won solely off his pieces. There was no forks available. Here I give away the queen because I get the queen back immediately. And then I pick up the pawns and I win the game. This was amazing. That is one of the games I played as a 1300. And the game is not stopping here. No, we just started. I'll see you guys next time. Next video is probably going to be Minecraft or Fortnite or GTA even. I don't know. We'll see. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.